you're looking at is a review sheet from my Becker Auditing Review course to sit for the CPA exam. And what I wanted to show you today is the different types of opinions that auditors can give whenever they review financials of a company. So typically, all publicly traded companies are audited once a year by a CPA firm. They have many options to choose from when it comes to giving an opinion. What all companies strive for is an unqualified opinion, which we call a clean, beautiful opinion. So we start at the top with an unqualified opinion. As we go down, you see it splits into two separate sides. The next step down is called a qualified opinion. So basically what they have done is said, everything looks great, everything looks wonderful, except. It's kind of like my husband when he talks about me. He says, my wife is great, she's wonderful, she's beautiful, except. So that we would call a qualified opinion. So the auditors have come in and said, everything looks great except for. Okay? When you see this split here, and it goes into two different sides, what is happening is, if the auditor goes in and they're not allowed to look at the inventory, for example, it's in Mexico, it's in a really bad place, they can't go and observe the inventory being counted. If they can't go down there and see it, they call that a scope limitation. So pretty much, this is the side that the auditor would look at because it's something that affects him or her. So the auditor is giving a qualified except for opinion because of a scope limitation. On the other hand, if they're giving a qualified opinion and it's something to do with the financial statements, nothing to do with the auditor. He was able to see the inventory, no problem, but the company has chosen to not follow generally accepted accounting principles. Well, that's a problem with the financial statements. So once again, he could give a qualified opinion, but it's because of a financial statement problem. Okay? If we go down to the next step, after a qualified opinion, there's an adverse and a disclaimer. Keep in mind we have our two separate sides. So the auditor has come in and he's been told, okay, you have a lack of independence. Well, is there a problem with me dating the CEO? I can't audit your books. Okay? Honestly, that has happened. An auditing firm has gone in, they've started auditing a firm's books, and the auditor, the lead auditor, started dating the CEO. When that happens, there is a definite lack of independence. Okay? You have to be independent from the company that you're auditing. So when that happens, the auditing firm has no choice. They have to disclaim an opinion. They have to say, everything looks great, wonderful, but we can't give you an opinion. We have to disclaim an opinion because of something to do with the auditor. Oh, we're dating your CEO. Okay? So once again, this has to do with the auditor. When there's something wrong with the financials, for the next step after qualified, it's an adverse opinion. So we look at, did we have a departure from GAAP, which is what we used in the qualified opinion, but is it severely material? Okay, so if you look here at these four explanations, you kind of see them again down here. The difference being, it's much greater scale. So up here, yes, you departed from GAAP, it was okay, it didn't matter a whole lot, but if it's significantly material, it's a big, huge problem, then that's when it's going to get a worse opinion. It's going to get an adverse opinion. So the very last thing, which you don't see it, let me scoot it up here, the very last thing that could happen if something is just awful, the auditors have found fraud, they are just completely dumbfounded by everything they've found, there's deception, everything they look at is misleading, they can't tie back any of their numbers, nothing makes sense. The best alternative for any auditor is to just withdraw. I'm done, I'm out. I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Okay? So it's not technically an opinion, but when worse comes to worse and you can't make heads or tails of anything, just walk away. Okay? So these are the types of different auditing opinions that auditors can give whenever they're auditing financial statements. Thank you.